committee today is December the 12th. The current time is 1:06. Our first item of business is to review and approve the minutes for November the 14th, 2023. If there are no additions or corrections to the minutes, we will entertain a motion to approve as written.
Move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're gonna start, if it's okay with the committee, I'm gonna start with the resolutions. I'm gonna work my way up from 12 and go all the way up to 1. So we're gonna start with number 12. It's a resolution pursuant to subsection 11-40-1, subsection 11-43-55 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, to authorize the mayor to execute a professional service agreement with FBI LEEDA Inc. for a term not to exceed 8 months. Who is here to present on that item? Chief Thurman, take the floor for us, sir. And Chief, if you don't mind, let me just read some excerpts from that as well. So it's the mayor is further authorized to expand up to an additional 1,500 to provide meals or refreshments incidental to the training sessions to allow training to extend through lunch or mealtime. The total amount to be expanded for the training shall not exceed a total of $73,600. Said funds to come from GL 00143-260001.5201 professional service and 00104326800268705230006 supplies for banquets. So Chief, in your hands, sir.
So good afternoon. My name is Scott Thurman. I serve as Chief of Police for the Birmingham Police Department. So the FBI leader actually has 3 separate suites of training that we're asking to put on this year. They have the supervisor, the command, and the executive level. This training will be for all of our sergeants, lieutenants, and captains. Each session is 3 week long. So the idea is here is to get better supervisors, better managers within our department, give them the training they need to become better supervisors and managers. I've personally taken some of these courses myself. They're top notch, and I think that this will only help get a better quality employee, a better quality supervisor and manager. Of course, in the end, we'll get better services for our community that we serve.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions from the committee members?
Yeah, Madam Chair. So I know you said sergeants, lieutenants, and captains. About how many people?
So, 135, 140, somewhere around that ballpark.
And this will be what, every week? I mean, or it'll just be
So
during these
it
times?
actually runs,
April 1st
the last class I think ends at the end of July, because you gotta get 3 weeks of training for 135, 140 personnel. So you can't have but about 30 to 40 in a class, so there's 3 classes of each session. So there's 3 one-week sessions of supervisor, 3 one-week sessions of command, and 3 one-week sessions of executive.
Gotcha.
And if I may, Chief has just described item 7, item 8, and item 11.
Okay. 7, 8, and 11? Okay. All right, what's the pleasure of the committee?
I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Chief, we can send that to the full council for a vote. So Chief, stay planted. So we're gonna move to item number 11, and that is a resolution pursuant to subsection 11-40-11 and subsection 11-43-55 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, to authorize the mayor to execute a vendor agreement with Flock Group Inc., doing business as Flock Safety, to provide a Flock Safety platform including 5 Flock Safety Falcon Flex cameras with software service and support for a term not to exceed 24 months. For BPD, the total amount to be expanded pursuant to this agreement shall not exceed a total of $35,000. Said funds to come from GL 03504.536-001 grant expenditures, Project Safe Neighborhood Grant. Chief?
So Flock Safety is a company that we already do business with. Photos and cameras and tag reader devices that are throughout our city that feed into the real-time crime center. So it works several ways. It captures the images of vehicles that pass, that our investigators can use and our patrol officers can use. It feeds into the real-time crime center. Oftentimes we put out bulletins and we can put out a picture of the tag of the entire vehicle. So it helps us reduce crime and solve crime, in short. just getting more of those throughout our city. And that's what all the major law enforcement agencies in our metro area are using the same platform as they're using Flock as well.
So are we getting 5 more cameras
Additional
for
cameras.
35?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is there, I guess, a plan to just roll these out in certain areas?
There are strategic areas based on where the greatest amount of crime is, that way we can have the greatest amount of return on investment.
Got you. And I guess the only other thing is, I know we're getting these 5 now, but I guess in the future, can we expect to see more?
Yeah, yes, sir. Our plan is to continue to expand this as funds become available. Yes, sir.
Got you.
All right, what's the pleasure of the committee?
Move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right, Chief, I'm assuming you know about this item number 10 as well. Stay plenty. Okay, as a resolution pursuant to subsection 11-40-1 and subsection 11-43-55 Code of Alabama 1975 to authorize the mayor to execute a vendor agreement with Pink Link LTD to provide PLX collection suite software with training software service. This is a support and bronze subscription to vendors web intelligence investigation platform with training software and support for BPD for a term not to exceed 12 months. The total amount to expand pursuant to this agreement shall not exceed a total of $181,230.08. Said funds to come from GL 00103701920019222.5260001. Chief?
So PinLink is something that we've wanted for a very long time. What PinLink does is when we get cell phone records and investigations of things, it helps us look at commonalities where we have to go through line by line as a person right now. We can put in exactly what we're looking for and we get the results immediately. So it expedites our investigations when we're looking at all those cell phone records and things. Right now, we have to kind of beg our other law enforcement partners to do that for us, to help us. Of course, they can only do so much because they have their own cases to work as well. So it will greatly enhance our investigations by having these items.
You have questions, Councilor Moore?
And this is the bronze subscription?
This is gold.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is the,
That's
you know,
what I
PinLink
wanted.
is kind of the coup de grace, if you will, of this particular platform. So it's what our federal partners use, to kind of put that in perspective for you. I mean, that's what our federal partners use in these type of investigations.
Okay. And I was just,
Contract is for bronze.
Okay.
For bronze, okay.
yeah,
But I mean, PinLink is what I was related to was, PinLink is the
gold standard
gold standard, yes, sir.
of
As far as
the bronze.
there's really no one else to compare it to, but they are above and beyond the services that they give.
Gotcha.
So basically won't have to rely on other agencies to provide what you need immediately.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now we have to ask them, it's when they get to it, they can only do so much at a time, and now we have it here at our fingertips every day.
Gotcha.
Move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Uh-huh.
All right, Chief, that item will be going to the full council for a vote. Attorney Robinson, you said 7, 8, and 9.
Yes,
Is,
7 and 8 were leader contracts as well. Those 7, 8, and 11 were all leader contracts.
Okay, leader contracts, okay. So I am not going to read those again, but I guess I will read it for the record. So it's the same contract that I referenced to the chief, so it's 7, 8, and 11?
Right.
Okay. Okay, let me just read a snippet of it. It's a resolution pursuant to subsection 11-40-1, subsection 11-43-55, the Code of Alabama 1975, to authorize the mayor to execute a professional service agreement with FBI LEADER for a term not to exceed 5 months to provide supervisory training to BPD officers. FBI LEADER Incorporated will provide 3 sections of FBI LEADER Supervisor Leadership Institute to Birmingham Police Department to occur weeks of January the 16th through the 19th, 2024, January the 22nd, 26th, 2024, January the 29th through February the 2nd, 2024, for a term of $72,100. The mayor is further authorized to expend up to an additional $1,500. That's to provide the meals, refreshments, the incidental to the training sessions, to allow to extend through a lunch and meal time. The total agreement to expend for the training shall not exceed the total of $73,600. Said funds to come from GL 00143 2600026001.521-050 professional service 00143 2687 supplies and banquets. So Chief, if you want to reiterate about LEADER again on 7, 8, and 11.
It's just the training that our sergeants, lieutenants, and captains will get. There's the supervisor, the command, and the executive level. And the idea is to get better supervisors and managers, for not only officers, but to better serve our citizens that we service every day.
Okay. Got questions, Councilman, for Chief?
No, I do not. So we said 7, 8, and 11?
So one of the items is the supervisor class, the other item is the executive class, and then the third item is the command. So each one is listed separately, separate line items. So that's why there are different numbers.
Same company, FBI LEADER.
So I'm sorry, maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm
Look
looking
at 7.
7, and it's the 17 million?
No. That's Axon.
Okay.
If you
So
look at
it's not item 7 then. So it'll be item 8,
8,
8, 9,
8, 9, and 11.
Yeah, the items have changed.
Okay.
8, 9, 8, 9, 12.
12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. That's some serious training, my boy.
Y'all got this.
Well, the thing is, it gives the
It's 8, 9, and 12. FBI LEADER.
They'll get the trilogy award at the end. It's really going to set our department at a higher level of management and supervision. You give them that so we can better service all the way down and just continue that. And these classes are offered some more times in our local area. They're about $700 per participant for a week. So to get our entire department trained to that standard would be extremely significant. Very helpful.
Look, I totally agree. I'm in favor and support of. I just saw that number and kind of put my way
We'll have to discuss that one in a minute.
Yeah. Well, now I'm gonna approve. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor? Aye. All right, Chief, you the man of the hour today. So item number 7 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute First Amendment to the Master Services and Purchasing Agreement with Axon Enterprise, under which the city of Birmingham will terminate, quote, 329271 and quote 312731, authorized pursuant to resolution number 263-22, with lease and use Axon devices and service detailing quotes Q534114 and Q534184 for such goods and services as body cameras, Axon fleet officers, safety plans, technology assurance plans, and TASER 7 plans for use by the Birmingham Police Department. The Finance Department and BPD asserts that the lease term for the body cameras match the estimated useful life of the assets covered in the lease for the amount of $17,557,574 for a period not to exceed 5 years in accordance with Code of Alabama 1975, Section 41-16-57. The city will accept the services and the use as needed at the police department to promote the health and welfare of city employees. Chief.
So currently, this is a 5-year contract is what this is for, so that's part of the reason it's $17 million. The other part is, we have multiple contracts with Axon right now, and they don't align as far as expiration dates. Going into this agreement, we'll align all of our Axon products onto one master contract, so they all expire at the same time. We'll be leasing this equipment. So the equipment that we're discussing are our body-worn cameras, which we've just gotten brand new, and they'll be issued to our officers in probably February or March this year. Also our fleet system, which is our in-car camera system that's in all our March units. The other part is our tasers. So we'll be going from Taser 7 to Taser 10, which is the newest, most technologically advanced taser.
What's the difference?
So our current tasers, the distance that you can shoot is about 15 to 20 feet. The new one's 45 feet. So it creates a greater distance if you have someone maybe who's having a mental episode or someone it provides a lot more safety, and then there's more cartridges in that new Taser 10, so you have, in the current one, there's just 2. You have 10 in the new one.
Gotcha.
Also, the other piece is their drone program, which we have with Axon. We've just finished some of our licensing with FAA, so we'll be getting those up and flying sometime in the beginning of 2024. And then the last piece is our virtual reality training. So one of the things that's, a lot of the training that officers have done throughout their career has been shoot, don't shoot. But the virtual reality is, maybe you're dealing with an autistic person. And you have to make choices throughout the scenario of how to make good decisions. So it's really more of things that officers face on a day-to-day basis to make good decisions on how to, de-escalation, things, picking up on those keys for a positive outcome.
Right.
And so the other piece of that is it's right sizing some of the equipment that we lease for them. So fleet, we leased 300 for the cars. We only need 200. So they're going to credit us back. So it's right sizing. For instance, on our tasers, we leased 1,000. We don't need 1,000. So we right sized it back to the number that we need to reduce it. Also, it's adding a couple of other options. So it's adding transcription. So if we have a video we want to release or just show a court, it's going to transcribe what was said between the individuals. It does, one of the new features that we really like is it has signal sidearm. So signal sidearm is once an officer draws their weapon from their holster, the body-worn camera automatically initiates and begins recording. So where that can be beneficial if an officer, let's say they're eating lunch, dinner somewhere at a restaurant, someone comes in, something bad starts to happen, the officer doesn't have time to turn the body cam, they have to draw their weapon because of the situation. Recording has already been done automatically.
So currently, as it stands, then body cams have to be turned on.
We have to manually turn them on, yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Now, there is a feature that, if these 2 officers have their body cam on and I come on scene, mine's been activated at that point, or if the lights are on in the police car, that's going to cause an activation. So that can be beneficial. If we have our lights on, Jefferson County comes on scene, it's going to make their body cams start recording too, or vice versa. Same with the state, because we all use Axon. So the other piece of this is swapping out of the equipment. So we've just got the new body-worn cameras. We'll get additional body-worn cameras in year 3 and in year 5.
Okay.
We'll be getting the Taser 10 at the beginning of this contract upon approval. Fleet, we just got in 2023, we would get new fleet in year 5 again. And then for virtual reality, which we just received, we would get new virtual reality again in year 3. Now, the content for virtual reality constantly updates regardless, but it's the actual physical equipment that we're discussing.
Gotcha.
And we're leasing this equipment. We don't actually buy it from Axon. Now, the other piece in it is the storage of all of our body-worn camera videos is on Axon, which is included in that price. There's a lot of content from our department.
Gotcha.
Sounds like a plan.
So I take it that if anything happens in terms of like malfunctioning equipment or things that need to be repaired or replaced, like
Take care
just.
of it. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor? Okay, that item passes, Chief, so we are on to item number 6. Is a resolution pursuant to subsection 11-40-1, subsection 11-47-1, and 11-4355 Code of Alabama 1975 to authorize the mayor to enter into agreement with OCV LLC, under which OCV LLC will develop, design, build, and provide a custom mobile app and provide support services for the Birmingham Police Department to better communicate messages to their organization and community for a term of 1 year, and the city shall pay OCV LLC an amount not to exceed $32,475. Chief?
So our current app has kind of been in limbo because of contract situations. So this was bid out. This was the bidder that won the bid. And then the app really is to get information out to our community members so they can quickly go and find information about how to make a push for, how do I do certain things. And then two, if there's something, maybe a big wreck that's happened and shut down, we can put that information out on an app to get it out to our end user, the community. And so it's just much more robust than what we currently have. And so they'll develop it, build it out, and then we'll have control over as far as the content that's put on there.
for the, Madam Chair,
Go.
for the sake of the community, what's the app name? What's the return app that we have? I'm sorry, to put you on the spot like
I
that.
can't tell you that, off the top of my head.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, it's Birmingham Police app.
Okay.
I don't know if there is a different name for it. There's usually a link off of our
Website.
social media web pages to that app as well.
Gotcha.
And of course, it would send out messages if you're signed on, you might can get those notifications and messages as well. You know, rec has shut down I-59 or what that is, please avoid this area.
So like push notifications.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so, Chief, the updated app, you'll promote that on your social media outlet, okay, and just be able to tell the community. Okay,
Certainly, once they get it developed,
okay, and they can report anonymous tips, all that kind of stuff on that app, or,
yes.
okay, all righty,
They still have, calls for police reports and things,
Okay.
of course, or if they need us to respond to
Gotcha.
911 or 311 type situations.
okay,
It's just a good way to get out our information to our customers, which is the community.
Does it also let people know when y'all gonna have coffee with a cop? and all that?
Yes. I mean, that's the idea, it's just to get our information out to the customer, the community, yeah.
Gotcha.
100%.
Cool. Well, I move for approval.
second, all in favor? All right, Chief, you are free to go, that, all your items passed, thank you, Chief. All right, item 5 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a bill of sale to transfer surplus public safety equipment described as 10 sections of 5-inch fire hose to the Fairfield Fire Department to serve the needs of the area residents for a sum of $1.
Good afternoon, my name is Julius Spears, I serve as the deputy chief. So basically, it's our surplus hose that we have, and we're trying to help our neighbors out, so we, selling it to them for a high price of $1.
That's a lot of money, Chief, that's a lot of money.
It helps them when they land their supply line, so when you go to the highway, it's 1,000 feet of hose, so it helps them out dramatically.
All right, you got questions for Deputy Chief Pierce?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, is this kind of like normal practice? Is it something that usually takes place?
Each one of our apparatuses have over, like, probably close to 2,000 feet of hose on it. It helps you function on the fire scene. We have, they've sold them $1 for fire engines and stuff like that, just helping the Fairfield out.
Yeah.
So, it happens, but, we didn't help purchase, it happens a lot, so. We just have surplus hose. The lifespan of the hose is like 25 years, and it's close to its end of life. And we take it off our apparatus and recycle it, because we purchase new hose. And we just had some available to surplus to them.
Gotcha. No problem with that. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor? All right, Chief, thank you. Send that item to the council for a vote. Thank you. Item number 4 is the Birmingham Airport Mart. Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Come state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Ahad Duwika.
Can't hear you.
Ahad Duwika.
Okay, address also?
103 Garden Review Lane, Hopeford, Alabama, 35244.
Okay, this is a application for a lounge retail liquor class 2 package store. The applicant met with the Woodlawn Neighborhood Association on October the 9th and voted for the above named license. There were 8 in attendance, 8 in support. But let it be noted for the record, although the neighborhood voted to approve the transfer of the license, the neighborhood did so with a requirement that a full-time security be present on the package store side of the business. So you all agreed to that?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Do you have any questions for the applicant, Councilor Moore?
No, I do not. No, I do not.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second, all in favor? All right, we're gonna send that to the full council for a vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 3 is the culinary dropout. Is the applicant here? Come and state your name for the,
My name's Amanda Schaffner. The business location is 241 Summit Boulevard,
right, this is an application for a restaurant and retail liquor. They met with the Overton Neighborhood Association on 12/5/23. 8 was in attendance, 5 support, and we're gonna turn it back over to you to tell us about this establishment that's coming to Summit Boulevard, Culinary Dropout.
Yes, it is going to be in the old Macaroni Grill location. It's based out of Arizona. There's 10 current locations. They're in the process of opening 3 more. They have like American style food, pretzel bites, burgers, sandwiches, all kinds of a little bit of a higher end menu.
Oh.
Not high end, like luxury with drinks, but not your standard food.
Okay. You have questions for the applicant, Councilor Moore?
And when, you might have stated this and I missed it, when is the proposed date that you all are trying to open this space?
They hope to open it around the end of January, beginning of February. They're hoping to have their liquor license by the first week or 2 of January, so they can get that in and get their training done. They have a fairly extensive training process. I think they said it takes about 6 weeks
Okay.
for their training process.
And you said it's based out of where?
Arizona.
Arizona.
They've got locations that look like one in Atlanta, one opening soon, North Carolina, Denver, about 7 in Arizona themselves, and then we're also on the list of any openings. It looked like the third opening would be in North Carolina too, I believe.
Gotcha. Okay. We'd love to know.
Coming up,
Yeah.
our camps coming up in the culinary world.
Yes, they are.
We'd love to know when the grand opening is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure will. They look like they've done a lot of work. Construction's, I think, complete, pretty much. I called and scheduled the liquor certificate of occupancy inspection last week. So, the things are moving right along. I know there's a little bit of buzz on that side of town.
Well, I'm moving for approval, Madam Chair.
All right, I gotta go back for the record because I failed to do something that I should have done that I did not do. So, Detective Langford, are there any incidents at this location?
Neither one of them, no.
Okay, what about Mr. Lowe? Does the applicant meet zoning requirements?
It's that property zone QC2 qualified commercial district, and they do meet zoning requirements.
And Ms. Brown, this is a new business, so I'm pretty sure that they don't owe any taxes and revenue.
Right there in good standing.
Thank you very kindly. All right,
Can I ask one more question?
sure.
So, I guess with each property that, or person that's trying to open up a business in these different spaces or get the liquor license, they have to come through you all before they even make it here, correct?
That's correct. That is correct.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, I second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that item passes. So I'm gonna go back to item, the Birmingham Airport Mart and ask these same questions. Detective Langford, do they have any incidents at
No
this location?
incidents at all.
Mr. Lowe, what about zoning?
Zone CB2, and they do meet zoning.
Okay, and Ms. Brown? Good standing. Thank you very kindly. All right, that brings us to item number 2. Can you state your name?
Yes, I'm Josh Cosio. I'm the owner of Cattle Coffee at 1826 3rd Avenue North.
Okay, this
Birmingham, Alabama 35203.
this is an application for a retail beer type, wine type, off premises, beer and wine on and off premises. So they did meet with the Fountain Heights Neighborhood Association on 11/28/23. 9 were in attendance, 5 support, 1 had no recommendation. There was no opposition. However, there were 9 residents in attendance, but at the time of the vote, there were 6 present. So can you tell us something about your establishment?
Yeah, so we're a coffee roaster and coffee shop. Our main first location is not too far from the Culinary Dropout in the Cobb Heights area of the Batavia Hills. We most recently took over the old Revelator Coffee that went out of business on 3rd Avenue North. So we're looking to be a new community spot for that area of downtown. There's a lot of lofts being built and whatnot. So in addition to coffee, which we already are open and operating, we want to have some beer and wine sales for on-site consumption, but also have kind of like a small selection of bottles that of wine that people that live above us or in the area can purchase for themselves or for as a gift, to help kind of our whole goal is to just bring people together over, get beverages all throughout the day.
Okay. Coffee, beer, and wine.
Yes.
You got any questions for the applicant?
Not at all, man. No, I don't have any questions.
All right, Detective Langford, are there any incidents at this location?
None.
All right, Mr. Lowe, does the applicant meet zoning?
Yes, it's Zone B4, Central Business District, and the new zoning ordinance.
All right, Ms. Brown, are they in good standing with taxes and revenue?
We show that there are some missing sales taxes. He can check with the front counter before you leave to find out exactly what you're missing to get that taken care of.
Okay, all right. Councilor Moore?
I move for approval.
Second. All in favor? Okay, that item passes the council agenda. All right, thank you. So we're on to item 1, which is the All-Star Food Mart. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Hassan Mansour. You want my home address or the business address?
You can provide the business address.
301 Robinson Drive, Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay. This is a application for a beer off premises, wine off premises, and the applicant met with the Roebuck Neighborhood Association on 11/13. 13 were in attendance and 10 was in support of the applicant. Are there any incidents at this location, Detective Langford?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Lowe, does the applicant meet zoning?
Yes, ma'am, zone mixed use low.
Okay, Ms. Brown, does the applicant good in taxes and revenue? Okay, Councilor Moore, do you have questions for the applicant?
I know y'all right around the corner from the East Precinct, so I'm not concerned about anything happening over there. I move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that item passes the council agenda. The committee agenda we'll send to the council for approval. Thank you. All righty. Okay, Detective Langford, do you have, so we're gonna move to new and old business at this time. Anybody have any new and old business at this time? Attorney Bernard?
Yes, Julie Bernard, I serve as Assistant City Attorney, and there have been issues that have been brought to Councilor Tate's attention and other councilors' attention about complaints about the business that operates at Zydeco in 5 Point South, and Councilor Tate had asked about moving forward with consideration of revocation. So really what I need from the committee today, I've drafted a letter that Councilor Tate would send. This is usually our procedure. The letter goes from the committee chair to ask the business owners to appear at an upcoming public safety committee meeting. And so that's blank in this, to determine when the meeting will be held. So that's what we need. We can talk generally about what some of the complaints have been. I think because we don't have them here, we don't have anybody else here to speak to it. We don't need to get into any specific issues. But
Okay, thank you, Attorney Bernard. I have requested a special call meeting for December the 19th at 1 o'clock.
okay.
So will this letter go out today, and will there be enough time to alert the business?
We'll need to put that information in there. It does make it tight. We may have to ask if BPD could take a copy to the business. Okay. So we'll do that. The other, the registered agent is in South Alabama, so it'll have to go in the mail, but I think we could get a copy hand delivered.
Okay. All right. And so I know you don't want us to really get into the weaves of some things, but do you want to talk about briefly about some of the issues that have occurred at Zydeco?
Right, I think generally from some of the emails that I've seen that have come through other counselors, you know, there's some general complaints, you know, just about disturbances in the area, noise, you know, the people leaving the club, some shootings in the area. There are allegations about underage drinking at the establishment and about people being overserved. There's, I think, a lot of public awareness about a young woman who was on a date, and they were both, I think, 19 at the time. And the young man was driving, and they wound up in a wreck that killed the young woman. And so the family is pursuing litigation against that young man and against the club. And so.
Okay, all right. Detective Langford?
Yes, ma'am. Go along with Mr. Bernard was saying is, I took, it was one of my first cases, was Zydeco, and from there, I led a raid, you know, a sting led a raid into the Zydeco, but we had already had undercover there who purchased, and they was 19-year-olds, police officer that was in the academy, they purchased alcohol, so we got them on that. And then from there, they had several underage drinking because they allowed 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and 20-year-olds to go in that club, okay? And then they have armbands, but we observed where they was not checking no armbands, no IDs. So we stopped several of them who was purchasing alcohol, who was underage. We took them outside, called their parents, and we dealt with them. And then from there, we also have a 22-year-old who was purchasing alcohol and was giving it to the younger one. We arrested him, okay? Yeah, but we just let them other ones go to their parents.
Right.
And we dealt with Zydeco there. And we took, when we busted the club, we took all the alcohol.
Right, and I really don't want to get into the weeds because
Yeah.
there were some issues.
Yes.
There's some issues, so I
Yeah.
don't want to get into
So,
that.
That's what we got.
But, you know, but overall, there have been these kinds of allegations that, you know, that this kind of activity is going on. I was gonna say something else, and I've lost my train of thought. But anyway, there, like I say, there's, you know, there are no more complaints, and I think the council, that the committee will need to hear from them. Usually, you know, as you and Councilor Moore, you know, need in the process, generally what we do is have people come to the committee and y'all have a chance to talk to them. Don't necessarily have to have a full hearing, but we can have some members of the public, you know, who want to speak about the complaints, and then let the committee decide if there's enough for it to go to council for revocation.
Okay, so the goal here is to execute this letter, instructing them to come to a special call meeting on December the 19th at 1 o'clock to hear from the public and also from the applicant. Okay, all righty. You got questions? All right, so that concludes our old and new business, and now we're down to the what everybody like to hear. You got something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
With the guidance of Deputy Chief Pickett and also the chief, the business compliance unit, that's our unit, the BCU. We're gonna do a post-incident security risk assessment on any place that has a incident inside that club. We have 7 days to get that done. Within that 7 days, we have to interview and investigate the detective that's handling the incident, and then also interview the owner, interview the duty manager on the time of the incident, interview their security, and also take photos, look at their safety plans, and all cameras, and the same thing that we pretty much do before we even give them the license. And check their business license and go with taxi licenses and find out exactly what type of business that they're supposed to be setting up. And if there's any police officers working at that time, then from there we need to go to internal affairs and find out exactly what's going on with them, with an incident that happened at a facility or business that they was working in. So That was given to us Sunday
Okay,
by DC Pickett.
Okay.
So myself and Detective Fikes got together, and we went out with the incident that happened at Males Club. And the address on that club would be at 3921 Richard Arrington Jr. Boulevard. And that's where the incident that happens Saturday night, early Sunday morning, where a 19-year-old shot a 20-year-old in the head inside the club.
32.
32? Yeah. And we had this morning at 9:30, we had the Sunday night, Detective Fikes went out. He did the due diligence on serving the club, checking the club for the cameras, and getting their safety plan, which they didn't have it at that time. And then when he entered the club, they were sitting up in there smoking marijuana in the club. And from there, we had them to come here at 9:30 this morning. We had Miss Brown there from Tax and License that already had pulled their license and to see what type of club they had. They was the type of club, the license they had, they weren't even supposed to have alcohol nor food there. Yeah. So they was just open, running their business without anything.
Okay.
And from there, we advised him not to open up his doors no more. Okay. And from there, we just did everything with Detective Pickett, DC Pickett asked. And what we do now is we give the package to you all, and from there we'll look at it, and then from there, just like what Julie's doing, we want to make a recommendation as far as the club being a risk to the community. So from there, and that's our recommendation that when me and Detective Pike got together and we called Deputy Chief Pickett on the phone because he's out of town, unless he would have been here, that we are recommending that club be business license be revoked, which we know it ends in 2 weeks, okay? But, you know, at this time, it should be renewed.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right,
And
thank
then we have to pay more for you all if y'all need to see it here.
Thank you.
And that's what we'll be doing on any time that they have any incidents.
It needs to be reviewed for the Office of City Attorney before it comes
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Attorney Bernard and Detective Lincoln for that update, and Detective Fikes. Appreciate y'all. All of y'all, everybody that makes this committee flow. Ms. Brown, Attorney Lawson, Greg, Treese, Councilor Moore, Mr. Lowe. I see Ms. Brundage back there. So thank you all.
You may want, with what Detective Langford just stated, you may want to delay it until January.
On the
On the letter.
Sunday.
I mean, the hearing, I mean, the presentation to this committee, you may want to allow them adequate time.
The other applicant.
All the reports have to be redacted. They need to come through the Office of
Right.
City Attorney
Okay.
before they're given to y'all, so there's not gonna be time to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a consideration of the committee. I talked with Councilor Tate about having a special call meeting, which would put the council hearing in January.
Right.
So.
Well, originally, she mentioned.
So do we have enough time to do it for the night? Do we have Attorney Lawson and Ms. Bernard, do we have enough time to do the 19th? Are we saying that we need to get it through the city attorney, let them do their thing, and then come in January for the special call
We've
meeting?
already reviewed Zydeco.
Okay.
You know, and that would be ready to bring it to the committee to determine whether it goes to the full council. It's just up to the committee. It is, you know, rushing the timeline to do December 19th, but that's up to the committee.
Okay.
But on this other, that cannot happen on the 19th.
Okay, so let me go back.
Because we have to give notice to them and everything. I have been trying for years to get a way that we can have a process with the police department, which, you know, it sounds like they're putting something in place. I've asked for some things, because I can write an ordinance, but we need to have some thresholds as to where we, you know, make determinations so that, you know, when it hits a certain level, it gets triggered to move forward. So this sounds like a start to it. I'd like to talk with them, because there may be consideration that we put an ordinance in place that documents how we do all this.
Okay, so
We want to look at the 19th.
here's what, here.
That's what's trying to be clear.
Okay, so let me just redact what I said and recant what I said. So the 19th is a no, right?
I mean.
So that means for the next public safety meeting will be January the 9th. So that'll give us time to get this letter executed. So let's set the, let's set that, cause that's the regular public safety meeting. So let's set that for January 9th. Okay, is that good, Julie?
That, again, is up to the committee.
Okay. So January the 9th, cause it seems like it's like a little rush thing, and sound like something gonna get broke down, and we gonna miss some stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. January the 9th, Zydeco will be added on the agenda. So that'll be the regular public safety agenda, so they'll be on the 9th, where we'll have time to execute ABC, the whole plan. And then what Detective Langford said, that'll give us a threshold to work through that, and then be under the guidance of the Office of City Attorney to get that item moving as well. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, so we've down to the good part, what everybody like to hear. All in favor?